Okay, we got a call that's going to be coming in, our friend.
Oh, is she calling now?
Yeah, she's getting ready to call. She's off work. So
okay, great.
So when she does call in, now for those, I'll intro this real quick before she calls.
Okay.
Is if anybody's, hasn't been living under a rock all week.
Apparently I was. I didn't see it.
The past 2 weeks.
The last couple of weeks.
Apparently I have. I haven't seen shit.
So, graduation was Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So
she graduated at Kent State, and she decided, her name's Kaitlin Bennett. She's going to be calling here in a little bit. I'm going to talk to her for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
She had organized on Friday, April 27th, we did an open carry walk at Kent State.
Okay.
Because, not students, faculty, staff aren't allowed to carry at Kent State, but visitors and guests are outside a building, so you can open carry per Ohio law.
There's a call coming in right now.
Okay. SKO Radio, you're on the air.
Go ahead. Hello?
Hi, it's Kaitlin.
Hi, Kaitlin. It's Tony. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. You've been a busy lady all week.
Oh my gosh, so busy. It's crazy.
I keep reading on social media, stuff positive in the middle, negative, I was kind of introing you. I said, everybody, anybody that, that hasn't been living under a rock all week had pretty much, had seen your photo online, your graduation photo, and I absolutely loved it when I saw it. I mean, I'll be honest with you,
Thank you.
I have a lot of gun knowledge, but of course, that was the first time I've actually seen an AR-10, and
yeah.
so I really wasn't adept on that. But then of course, and then everybody saw what you had wrote on your cap, come and get it, or what was it? Come and take it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was funny. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, people keep saying it's fake, or people keep saying it's photoshopped, and I'm like, this is 100% real. That is a real rifle. The mag was loaded. It's in the rifle. You know what I mean? Like, this is real. This is the real deal here.
Oh, yeah, and, and obviously, it got posted, and, it went viral. I had a chance to watch the video of you on Fox and Friends. I didn't get a chance to watch you live, but I did go in back on their Facebook page, and they had the video posted. And of course, I had a chance. We talked on Facebook before I actually met you in person at the open carry walk at Kent State. And then of course, and and I made sure to bust ass so I can get out of work in time to actually show up. Because it being a Friday, and and things could not have went better that day.
Oh, Maris, things went great that day. Everything it went exactly how I knew it would. Nothing bad was going to happen. It didn't get the media coverage that I thought it would.
Yeah.
And that was really disappointing. And I'm kind of surprised that didn't go viral, but my graduation photo did. You know what I mean? Like, you'd think that over 50 people at an open carry demonstration on Kent campus would go more viral than, a little blonde girl with the rifle. But, the media likes what it likes.
Well, and here's the truth of the matter. This is Dylan Thompson. The fact of the matter is that people gathering and demonstrating now with an open carry rally isn't shocking or news anymore to people, because especially the liberal media, who's looking at it as just, us right-wing nuts, demonstrating what we perceive to be our rights, which in all truth, they are our rights. It's what our founding it's what our founding fathers intended us to do. And, you get the argument about the muskets, but we won't go into that. But the fact of the matter is that, you're a beautiful young lady, and the fact of the matter is that you are not going to expect someone like you to be carrying a rifle like that. That's for all intents and purposes, that's an AR-10 shoots the same caliber bullet that I hunt with. And that's just the truth. The military uses a 223 or 5.56, is what we use to, for our primary combat arms, and then we bump up to the 7.62 or 308 when we get to our heavier machine guns. So I mean, it's
with the AR-10 that I was carrying is actually chambered for the 308.
Right. So I mean, it's not something that the media expects, and it's something that they look at and they see, someone like you, and they say, well, this is inherently wrong. And it's not inherently wrong. It's not inherently wrong. And I'm assuming that you're someone who's a very law-abiding citizen. You're someone who is practicing your Second Amendment rights in a legal fashion.
It was 100% legal. I even notified. I contacted 3 different departments in my university to ask them. I said, I want to do this photo shoot. When can I carry on campus legally after my graduation? They had no answer for me. Code of conduct didn't even have an answer for me. So I called the police and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. When can I carry? They told me as soon as I walked across the stage, I'm not a student anymore. I told them what I was going to do. I told them I would call them the day that I went there. The day that I got there, I called them. They sent out an officer. I didn't have to do that, but I'm a responsible gun owner, and I'm just a responsible, law-abiding citizen. So I wanted to make sure that, I was protected, but also no one else freaked out. And no one knows that. No one knows that side. They think that I just walked all willy-nilly with an AR-10 around my campus.
No,
that's what they get out of it. And, they're so quick to judge, but they always are.
Yeah, of course.
And props to you for taking the steps to make sure that you're not inciting panic and to make sure that, because to be honest, I'm a gun owner as well. I'm military, a gun owner. And, that's something that I don't usually carry my AR-15. I'll carry my Glock on my hip and, all that good stuff. But I won't usually carry my AR just because, there's so many things that can go wrong with that. It's not your fault when it happens. It's just there's so many things that can go wrong with that, and you just don't want to see that happen, and you don't want to be caught in that situation. And God forbid that you ever have to defend yourself. You don't want to have to be put in that situation ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. They're like, oh, what are you going to do with, you're going to sniper rifle people for self-defense? And I'm like, no, this was a photo shoot to, make a bold statement. No one's going to remember if I just held my handgun on campus. No one's going to care about that. It's just like activism on campus. No one's going to care about someone with a clipboard wanting signatures. You have to do something that someone will remember to get people talking. And I think I did just that. And I tell you what, I have no apologies.
Absolutely. I've seen you all throughout, all these different sites. I've seen you on the Grunt Style. I've seen you on,
Barstool.
Right. Everywhere from Barstool to, Grunt Style to the American Military News. And all these veterans are applauding you for your courage. And I've got another veteran sitting here with me right now who is nodding his head in agreement. We're applauding you for, exercising your rights that, frankly, we're defending. There's 3 veterans in this room right now, and all 3 of us have signed our names on that line to defend your freedom that you're exercising. And, personally, me being I want to thank you for exercising your right as an American citizen to carry where you feel fit. I really want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. But, I should be thanking you guys for your service. So, thank you right back.
That's what we're called to do. It's what we're called to do, and it's something that we're more than happy to do. And these 2 are separated, but I'm sure that in an instant they would pick up again and they would do it again. It's absolutely something that we feel very called to do, and that's something that we do to defend. But it's something that we believe very strongly in the Constitution, and there's a very strong belief that no matter how we feel about it, it is our job to defend it, and it is your job to exercise your rights. And the fact that you're exercising your rights as an American citizen is something that you should be very proud of, and it's something that I was very proud to see, especially in my hometown of Kent.
Yeah, absolutely. The left right now and just gun control advocates are sending me hundreds of death threats and wishes of
which I'm sorry,
suicide.
I want to cut you off there because that, and I'm sorry for the language, that is bullshit, because anyone who is going to preach gun reform and, and I won't even get into my right-wing rants, but, anyone who's going to preach gun reform and all that should not be threatening anyone's lives. They should not be threatening anyone's lives, and they should not be telling you to kill yourself when all they're worried about is their fucking safe spaces.
Yeah.
And that's
yes, exactly.
and that's the truth, because that is the hypocrisy of the left. Is that they're more worried about pushing their agenda than actually creating a safe space for someone, because now what they want you to do is more important than what you are doing as a constitutional American citizen in this country.
Exactly. No, I agree with you 100%. I tweeted out a tweet, and it said, all these death threats I'm getting, you guys, the left and the gun control advocates, they are really the biggest Second Amendment supporters and gun rights advocates right now, because they're proving why people need to carry and protect themselves because of crazies like them. So, the more death threats I get and the more I expose them, the more I get messages of support. I'm going to go actually to South Carolina. The rifle that the manufacturer, that rifle, the company, actually is going to fly me out to South Carolina, and I'm going to build my own rifle in their engineering headquarters and their warehouse, and all that good stuff. It's Palmetto State Armory, and out of their craziness, I'm gonna get a free rifle.
Wow.
I got a job out of this. It's just they've done nothing but help me, and they don't see that.
Yeah, because it's like, I had heard, there's all these people there that had said, well, after this picture, you might have trouble finding a job and blah, 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 and shit like that. It's funny because I happen to hear of a place called Blue Target. That name rings a bell, don't it? Mm-hmm. I happen to know Sean very well.
Yep.
Me and Sean.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I bought my Smith & Wesson 40 cal that I carry. I bought it from him because I told him, I had said, when I found out that he opened up, I said, buddy, you and me are going to do some business once you open up. I went and saw him when he was in Talmadge. And then, of course, I walked in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And boom, and now he's in the Falls now, right?
Yeah, well, he's in Stowe. On, I think, 1st Street, and then they just opened up a store in Akron.
Okay. Yeah, because I knew he had gotten into that, and, I walked in, and I told him, I said, we're going to do some business here, which we did. I was more than happy to drop money with him because I've known him a long time, and I'm like, and you'll definitely, now with what you have, you've definitely made a name for yourself, and, you could have tipped me over with a feather when I heard that you were on Fox and Friends. And I'm like, wow.
It was crazy.
I'm like,
but that I love that interview. I could not be more happy with how that interview turned out. But the left is just going crazy with me calling out, their racism and their prejudice towards me, and quite frankly, other white people. This was not a race discussion. They have managed to try to take the gun rights conversation and the gun control debate and make it into a race issue. It has nothing to do with race.
No, nothing at all. I was kind of, like you said, when this time around, when we had the carry on the 27th, I was with our friend Jeff. I think it was about a year and a half ago. We were up at Kent State as well. We were there on a Saturday, not on a Friday. And, I was really surprised. We had more protesters on a Saturday than we did on a Friday. And we had actually, we had actually walked around campus then. We actually did a, quote, walk. Like when we were there on the 27th, we did nothing but, basically hang out in the plaza. We didn't have to go anywhere. Everybody came to us. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yes, because, one, the campus knows who I am. When they hear that I'm doing something, they flock to it, really. And two, we really advertised it. It was good marketing as well. And, as soon as we got there were dozens of people just waiting for us. And, I couldn't be more happy about that.
Oh, yeah. And and then, of course, Liberty Outreach, correct me if I'm wrong on the name, right?
Hangout. Liberty Hangout.
Liberty Hangout, okay. And, they had to put everything together, and obviously, that, your organization, theirs, obviously is properly got more attention, so that way somebody, can follow in your footsteps now that you're a graduate. hopefully, your message will be continued at Kent State because, I've always known Kent State as, largely liberal campus. And, which...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
No, it's funny because I drive Uber and Lyft out there, and a lot of the people that I pick up, I'm finding more and more that the Republican crowd is growing out there because even there's a lot of people that, like myself, I'm a registered Democrat. I am most definitely not a liberal, though. I'm kind of ashamed at, what the Democratic Party has become in this day and age. I mean,
absolutely.
And you look at some of the people that are fronting the Democratic side of things. Ringleader Nancy Pelosi, and then just some of the other people, and it's just like you hear some of the things that that come out of their mouths, and it's just like, can you people possibly be any stupider?
Yeah, it's crazy. The gun control advocates at my school decided to do a silent protest where they were holding signs that are like, use your voice, but they duct tape their mouths shut.
Yeah.
It really doesn't make sense. They really have nothing going for them. I've noticed there's a lot of right-wing people at Kent, too, just for the fear fact, the mere fact that it's such a liberal college, but there is a large right-wing presence, but they're scared to say something because, the left has sent me to conduct twice. They've tried to get me fired, or not fired, but...
expelled?
Expelled, yeah, several times. They reported me to the police. They called the Pan-African department on me, trying to get me expelled, and, it didn't work. But if I ever tried to do that to someone on the left, I would be, in the dean's office getting a talking to, or, actually getting punished through conduct.
Oh, you'd be a racist. You'd be,
xenophobe.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's my main question that I've been wondering. Do you carry a pistol as well?
Yeah. So I
carry?
actually, because the government has to, have its restrictions and its rules, and I have to get their permission to conceal carry.
Right.
I have to go back to my hometown and turn in my application. I took the class. I just have to drive 2 hours to my hometown to put in my application. And with everything going on, I haven't had time, but these threats are getting pretty ridiculous. So that's like my main priority right now. So I'm gonna go back home, or I'm gonna try to find a county that maybe will give it to me in the same day or within a couple days. And then but other than that, my boyfriend actually he has his concealed carry because he lives in this county, and I don't go anywhere without him, and he's always carrying.
Okay.
Do you have your concealed carry?
No, she doesn't.
No, she's in process.
She just said that. So to get your concealed carry, you have to get it in the county that you live in.
Yeah.
Okay. So what county are you from? I mean, that's.
So I'm from Zanesville.
Okay.
So,
are they going to give? They won't give you any issues then, as far as going about that, right? Because I know.
No, absolutely not.
I know Summit's given some issues before to some of my family members, but so what do you carry?
So I have a Taurus GC2.
Okay.
The 9mm.
I've heard a lot of good things about the GC2.
A lot of people give me flack for it and everything, but it was good for the price, good for learning, and my first handgun.
It's cheap and effective.
I'm happy with it.
It's cheap and effective, absolutely. So one in the chamber.
Yeah.
One in the chamber, right? You carry
What was that?
You carry with one in the chamber, or?
Well,
depends.
I know Justin doesn't. He doesn't carry it with chambered or anything.
Okay.
Just for safety reasons, we don't expect anything bad to happen, but if something bad were to happen, he knows how to handle it. I don't think that there would be any reason why we couldn't be able to protect ourselves. So that's just our thought behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like myself. I can't carry chambered. My gun has no safety. So,
we have a safety, so.
Yeah, see, I have no safety, and then actually, I've got no hammer as well. Mine's entirely slide.
So you got a striker. See, So my open is a Glock 19. So nice old 15 plus one, and then my concealed is a shield. So that's got the thumb safety on it. But
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's. I don't know. I just get a little interested and get a little giddy about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Finding like-minded
finding
like-minded people in 2018 who agree with your views is a very rare thing. You know what I mean? So it's something that you have to I don't know.
I mean,
absolutely no.
I mean, it was wonderful meeting you in person. Because of all the walks, the one we did on the 27th was the fourth one that I've had done with Jeff. I met him because just happened. He did one up at the University of Akron, which is where I graduated from. I graduated from Florida the first time, and then I got my bachelor's at the University of Akron. And so I happened to walk up there with him, and then I went to one at Bowling Green, and then of course I did the first one at Kent, and this is my second one at Kent. And and then I missed the one at like Ohio U and Ohio State and whatnot. I know we're doing them, and I know he was also doing some because like state transit as well cannot forbid you from open carrying because it's considered state property as long as you're open carrying. Jeff was doing some of that stuff as well, and I told him, I said, if you get anything that's within a couple hours of me, most definitely let me go. Let me know, and then I can obviously see the time to get off my regular job, and if it's a Friday type of walk, I can kind of shorten my Friday if I have to and get out and do it. So, yeah, I definitely
absolutely.
I saw everything that was going on between first seeing the photo, and of course I knew who you were, having met you, and with everything organized, and I'm like, hey, I know her, and then I've seen on both sides, and then a good friend of mine, was speaking kind of negatively about it. He's a black man, and he said if that would have been me on Kent State, I might have had 10 cops around me. And I said no. And I had to explain it to him. I said, look, Q. I said, if with this happening, I said it was a photo op. It's she doesn't generally walk around with an AR-10 slung over her shoulder, but it was a photo op because
exactly.
I was just like. It hit national attention. You've gotten a lot of positive feedback on it. You've gotten a lot of negative, a little bit. And, of course, you went on and I was like, when people said you were on Fox, I turned to Channel 8, and I'm like, and then it's like, oh, Fox and Friends, like national. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, this shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
This shit just blew up. And when we came in and did our pre-show prep tonight, I happened to, was talking to my fellow showmates here, and I said, I happen to meet you, and I was like, Then I messaged you and said, hey, would you mind calling in and talking to me for a little bit, because we are heard all over the world. And if you happen to notice, we don't have to filter out profanity because we're not a quote unquote terrestrial station. We're not under the same FCC requirements that terrestrial radio is. So which is the good thing. So you can listen to us from anywhere. And it's just, I was just like, well, if you want to get a good worldwide audience here about what's going on, I'm like, I would definitely be more than happy to, have you on and at least, talk to you a little bit and, give you a little bit more exposure, do whatever was within my power. And I knew Dylan.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm like, I knew Dylan had a little bit of, he's got a little bit of, gun envy like myself.
A little bit passion about the Second Amendment, if you will.
I have some things to say about this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I absolutely loved your post. I actually shared it on my personal page when I saw it. My name is Ashlyn, by the way.
Hi.
So I was talking to somebody today. I cut hair, and I was talking to somebody about it that goes to Kent State, and he's going to be a cop. I asked him what he thought about this post and everything like that, and he absolutely loved it too. So, I mean, we give you full credit for everything, and we thought it was absolutely amazing. But I had a comment posted on what I shared, and the comment was, after all of this, why did you take your Twitter feed down? Is it because of the negative things, or did you not take it down?
No, my Twitter's still here.
Okay, I don't know why somebody told me that you did, and I was like,
No, I'm looking at it right now. It's on my computer, so.
Well, I think what you did was
I'm gonna
amazing.
refresh to make sure Twitter didn't take
You,
it down.
you can plug it if you'd like.
Right. But no, I thought it was absolutely
my Twitter
amazing.
is it's at Kate Marie OX. I refreshed it. Yeah, I refreshed it, and I have 2,000 more followers. So
Wow.
it's so crazy.
So,
You're
But
you're kind of blown up there, huh?
I have my Twitter, so.
so when you get back home, then do you plan on getting your concealed carry and plan on doing all that then, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I planned actually to go down today, but everything just got so crazy. I actually haven't left my apartment. I don't want to leave my apartment.
I don't blame
I don't know what kind of crazies are gonna, recognize me. So I'm just kind of laying low. I know I probably pissed off my entire campus, or at least a good 95% of it. But it's not the first time I've pissed them off.
Well,
so,
I live in Kent, and my driveway is goes into like Taco Bell. So I mean, I live in Kent. I've always lived in Kent, and it's something that I've noticed is you're out there now. I can't really agree or disagree with guns because I don't have one, but I mean it definitely. And I've read some of the comments that people are bashing on you, which is I don't agree with that.
Oh my gosh! I mean, if I go to my messages right now, there's so many on here that are just saying like you're white trash. You're a bitch. You should kill yourself. And it's like you guys are just
and
insane.
You're doing what?
And I bet most of these people would identify as being left wing or Democrat as well. As being the same people who are supportive of no hate for the LGBTQ community. Which, by the way, and there's no hate from the right on the LGBT community either. It's just there's so much hate coming from the left when all they're preaching is love.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. In my Club Liberty hangout on campus, or the club that I founded, more than half of our members are gay, and they get so much backlash from the left on campus and from the actual gay and LGBTQ clubs on campus, and it's crazy. It's like I thought you were all about being inclusive, being tolerant, just accepting everybody for who they are, and love and rainbows and butterflies, and that is not the truth.
No.
And
The truth is no one
they've
practices.
done a good job at tricking people into believing that, but once you actually interact with them, no, they aren't tolerant.
Well, the truth, they don't practice what they preach. I mean, basically,
absolutely.
they don't practice what they preach. They preach it. Oh yeah, let's be taught like you're saying, but they don't practice what they preach.
Nope.
And you just don't see it.
Yeah.
So
there have been a few messages of people saying like, I don't agree with you at all, but I'm sorry for the threats that you're getting and all this backlash and stuff. They're like, I just want to let you know that we're not all like that. And I actually take the time to message those people back, and I'm like, I appreciate you. Thank you. Spread the kindness a little bit.
Well, and they shouldn't be giving you shit, but people are still going to give you shit for if you're right or wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
let me go ahead and ask you, and if this is too sensitive a subject, go ahead and let me know. But what are your opinions on the shooting that happened today and how gun laws can potentially prevent that?
Yeah, so I made a tweet today, made a couple of tweets actually, because Hillary Clinton didn't didn't waste a second in coming out and calling for gun control because of that shooting. So I went ahead and called for the repealing gun-free zones that the government puts in place, especially on public high school properties, or just public high schools in general. They demand them to be gun-free zones in most states. And 98% of mass shootings happen in gun-free zones since 1950. If that doesn't tell you something, that gun-free zones aren't working, I don't know what else they have to look at. So I definitely think arming teachers if they have, the training, their CCW, arming them, I think that's great. Because there were statements in some of the articles I read about the shooting where the kids were like, my teacher just told me to hide. That is so sad. Those kids deserve better. They don't deserve to sit there and think, if someone comes in here, I'm just a sitting duck. My teacher has nothing to protect me. My life is literally in danger, and there's nothing I can do about it. That is sad. I don't know how the government or any of these gun control advocates can hear that story and think that that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel very strongly about this. It gets me pretty riled up because there's so many things that we can do to prevent this. We hear about all these school shootings and shootings in gun-free zones, and we all blame the gun. We all blame the AR-15, which I'll go off topic here. I think I love that I used an AR-10 because most people didn't even know that existed. They all attacked the AR-15, and they're like, what even is an AR-10?
Right. Well, is an AR-10 less than an AR-15, or how does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's bigger.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So it's bigger. You can see in the photo with my boyfriend, he's holding an AR-15, and mine is literally, double the size.
Right.
The mag is bigger, just everything.
So yours is bigger than his.
Yeah, back.
I had to add a little humor to it.
It's higher capacity, higher
Caliber.
velocity fire, but less rounds. So unless you're getting an extended magazine, as they say, which by the way,
high capacity magazine.
Which by the way, a high capacity magazine over 30 rounds is a felony. In case you didn't know.
Yep, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think you should be able to have whatever capacity mag you want.
Well, and I'll preface that with it's not a felony to own a 40-round magazine. It's a felony to load said 40-round magazine with more than 30 rounds.
Yep.
That's just crazy.
And even today's,
back.
Today's school shooting wasn't even an assault rifle.
Nope.
It was a hunt rifle and a good old 6-shooter.
Yep.
So you can't blame.
Yeah, it was a shotgun.
Can't blame an AR.
Yeah, can't blame an AR on this one.
No.
So.
And he was 17, so the gun laws, he wouldn't have been able to get that anyway.
Yeah.
So now you're looking more at irresponsible gun owners, and what can we do to stop irresponsible gun owners? That's the question that we need to be asking, and that's more the question that we need to be addressing is how do we stop irresponsible gun owners from allowing these children to
access to these guns.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you own a handgun, so you're familiar with the yellow pamphlet that comes with every single handgun that is mandated by federal law. The Youth Firearm Safety Act. You're familiar with that, correct? Go ahead and sign.
Yeah.
So my question then is, how is a 17-year-old kid getting hold of a revolver?
Yeah.
Or in that case, a shotgun. When the truth be told, these guns should be locked up in a safe. And that's the truth. And I'll be honest with you, my guns aren't locked up in a safe, but that's because I don't have children living in my household. And I live in a place where I don't necessarily fear for my life, but I don't trust that someone's not going to try and come into my house and
rob you,
bring harm upon me or my my roommates or anyone else. So my gun's sitting loaded in my nightstand. That's just how it is,
Right.
And in my ARs, the bolts are out of them. The bolts aren't in my ARs right now. Those are locked up because there's no reason for the bolts to be in the ARs until they're ready to be used. And that's just my personal opinion on that, and that's the truth is, if I'm not defending myself with my AR or, whatever, there's no need for it to be able to be capable of firing. But my pistol is something that I'm able to use in my house. I've got hollow points loaded up in it. It's something that's not going to hurt anyone around me. It's going to stop if it hits a wall. It's not going to hurt the child that lives next door or anything like that, whereas a ballpoint would or an AR would. It's something that I have loaded and I have ready to go. So just how do we stop these irresponsible gun owners then? That's I guess that's the roundabout way of asking the question.
I don't know, how the shooter in Texas got that gun. It could have been a family member that he obtained because they didn't put it away right, or, you know what I mean? But also, there's a black market for firearms. That's not anything new. It's not anything that someone should be shocked by. Because when you restrict something, we can see it with, drugs and just the black market in general. If they want it, they're going to get it. If they have the money for it, they're going to get it. That's a whole other aspect of it. So,
yeah, there's so much.
I personally don't. If you have a handgun and the reason is to protect yourself, be responsible with it. Don't let your kids have it. Obviously, keep your door shut and locked or whatever. But also, having it in a safe for some people might be more difficult for them to get to. So I would say, parents parent how they parent. They know what's best for them. They know what's best for their child. So, hopefully they're just thinking long and hard about how they can, easily access their firearm to protect their children, but also keep it away from them so that they don't get into it. So,
all right. Well, I do want to thank you for the time. I mean, I definitely wanted to talk to you and at least, help get the word out there a little bit more. We're getting ready to go to our top of the hour break, and you got another Twitter follower as well. I tweeted you this.
Me as well, and I sent you a direct message as well there, Kaitlin. If and all the negativity, if you find the positive one, that's mine.
And I sent you a friend request on Facebook. So.
But we'd love to have you in here, and we'd definitely love to talk to you more about this. Thank you, and I'll reiterate what I said in my message. Thank you again for just having such insightful views on this, and being a professional adult when it comes to this, and not just.
Thank you.
Instead of and here's the sad thing is you see too many of our fellow Republicans and further rights that are bashing the left side without any concrete argument to back it up, and you have a very concrete argument, and you carry yourself very, very professionally, and we really appreciate that, and we appreciate your views. And as we'd like to once again say, the views and opinions expressed on the SKO Radio Network are those of the host, guests, and callers, and are not those of the SKO Radio Network, its hosts, guests, or management. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or cure.
Wow, you remember that whole thing?
That's as far as I got. So anyway, the disclaimer, as the disclaimer goes, this is not the official view of the SKO Radio Network, but as me personally, Dylan Thompson, I want to thank you for supporting something that we fight so dearly to defend in our daily lives, and from a Marine and from two soldiers, Hua and Ura.
So we appreciate the call.
Thank you so much.
This is definitely we need you in studio so we can
Absolutely.
definitely we can do more hands-on and do a little more in-depth
Bring your guns.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Bring your guns. I'll bring mine.
Free model shoot.
There it is. Our photographer has offered you a free photo shoot.
Free photo shoot, and you won't
Oh,
get shit.
great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you won't get shit behind it.
Right. And
Yeah.
don't worry, because there's some badass veterans here to defend you. Not like you'll need it.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much for your time, Kaitlin.
Thank you. We
Thank
really
you, Kaitlin. We
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Have a wonderful
Talk to you
night.
later.
All right.
You
Bye.
too.
That was a very informative interview.
Caitlin Bennett here on the
I know. I
SKO
sat
Radio
back and
Network.
listened. I sat back and listened.
Yeah.
And you had an issue going on too.
I was bouncing around between your camera,
Sorry.
this camera, and then the main camera went out because we had so much Wi-Fi going tonight.
Yeah.
So I was kind of bouncing around trying to get, we all working here? I want to make sure all the
Yeah.
cameras are working because we're Scorch TV.
On
but-
behalf of the SKO Radio Network and Some Kind of Radio Show, we'd like to thank Kaitlin Bennett for her time
Absolutely.
of almost an hour.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
That was definitely very, very well spoken, and we'll go ahead and isolate that hour and send it along and post that as an isolated clip.
Absolutely, we sure will. All right, let's take a break, guys.
Excellent.